Humans fear judgment, embarrassment, and rejection. A human counselor is trained not to judge, yet our minds may think, what if they think I'm sounding stupid? What if they think I'm weak? And worst of all, what if they remember all of this forever? But when a bot enters the scene, all of this disappears. A bot has no you're interacting with something that cannot judge you, and that safety lowers your defense. Let's take a real case study about Elisha. Elisha struggles with severe anxiety about disappointing her parents. She avoids telling her friends because she doesn't want to burden them. She avoids telling her family because she fears being misunderstood. She avoids therapy because 1. She's not comfortable opening up to a stranger, and 2. As a student, the budget does not allow. But on an AI-based mental health platform, on the first day itself she wrote, I feel like I'm failing at everything in life. Now you know why she chose that bot first? Because this bot does not care about her social identity but only and only her emotional truth. And to top it off, she did not have to act like she's fine. No pressure to smile, no need to maintain an image, and no fear of disappointing someone. And that's exactly why AI platforms today are seeing high engagement in journaling, vulnerable messages, and early stage disclosure. When the users don't feel judged, they are more likely to share signs of burnout, low mood, anxiety, the kind that they ignore until it turns serious. The bot acts as a bridge to get them to proper care. This bot thing isn't new. The first ever chatbot therapist named Eliza was made in the year 1966 at MIT. People knew it wasn't real and it wasn't really understanding them. Yet they opened up. One user reportedly spoke with Eliza for over 4 hours talking about his emotional crisis. You know why? Because talking to a primitive bot felt safer than talking to a real human. Today, if at 3 am in the night you're lying awake, today, let's also talk about the hard, cold data because the problem is bigger than most people realize. 280 million people around the world are suffering from depression as per the reports of World Health Organization. What's gut punching is 60% of them, that is 168 million people, never even seek for help. And for those who do, they are not being honest. In 2021, as per the study of Journal of Medical Internet Research, tracked down 2,000 patients and found that they withheld 26% of their symptoms from their doctors. As they dug deeper, the numbers just got worse. 46% of the patients never mentioned about their suicidal thoughts, 61% minimized or hid substance use issue, and 81% didn't disclose the full extent of their anxiety symptoms. In a semester-long experiment conducted around various classrooms in USA, researchers observed 500 students in the traditional in-person setting. On an average, 0.8 questions were asked per week. That's not even one question per week. It's not because they understood everything, but raising hands felt risky. But when the same students were given an AI tutor, everything changed. On an average, 3.72 questions were asked per session, not per week, per session. That is 362% of increase in the willingness to get clarity and ask for questions when in doubt. These findings were not isolated. A separate research on 50 schools showed that 73% students regularly did not understand what was being taught in the class. They never raised hands, even when they were completely lost. The cost of this silence is huge. Their understanding gap widens, they lack confidence, ultimately they hate the subject, not because they were incapable of understanding it, but because they never felt safe enough to raise their hands and say, I don't get it. Let me tell you why this happens. When we talk to other humans, our brain activates a social cognition network that calculates what others think of us. As per many brain imaging studies, it shows that this network consumes 60% of your cognitive powers. That is like 60% of your brain being spent on what they think of me. Is he judging me? Is it going to affect our relationship? Is it going to tell this to somebody else? And there's only 40% left for the actual honest conversation. A study from University of Amsterdam tested 96 participants and found that oxytocin, the bonding hormone, increased lying behavior by 32% when people believed dishonesty would protect the relationship. The very chemical that bonds you to your loved ones makes you lie to them because your brain prioritizes protecting of the relationship over the truth. A study was conducted in the year 2024 with 15,000 participants from across 12 countries. The patterns drawn were universal. People were way honest with AI. But what really matters is time. Suicidal thoughts? With AI, the person can confess to it in the first session itself. But with a human therapist, it might take weeks and months to come out. Talking about various topics, childhood trauma, triggers, substance use, it will take session after session to come out with a human therapist, while with an AI, it will all come in the first session itself. You know why? It's simple. AI removes the biological tripwires. No facial expressions to read means no mirror neurons. No relationships to protect means no oxytocin driven lying. Your brain can finally speak out its truth without your conscious screaming at you to stay silent. And honestly, once you have practiced speaking the truth with the AI, it's easier to come out to a real human. Let me share two detailed case studies that shows how this plays out in real life. Case study number 1, Sarah, the silent student. Sarah, a 19-year-old engineering student at MIT, was failing calculus. She'd always been a straight A student, but she missed some foundational concepts and was too embarrassed to ask questions in the class. Her professor enrolled her in a pilot program using an AI tutor, and here's what happened over the 8 weeks. Week number 1, Sarah had her first session. Within 12 minutes, she admitted, I don't actually understand what a derivative is, something she had been hiding for the past 6 months. In that single hour-long session, she asked 23 questions, more than she had asked in an entire previous semester. In the week 4, Sarah was averaging 4.2 sessions per week with the AI tutor, asking an average of 18 questions per session. Her quiz score improved from 54% to 76%. During the 8th week, in her final exams, she scored 91%. When interviewed, she said, I couldn't ask the same questions to my professor because every time I tried, my throat would close up. I saw other students nodding like they were understanding, which made me feel stupid. But with AI, none of these mattered. She could ask the same question 5 times until she really understood it. Case study number 2, the Rodri family breaking generational silence. The Rodris were a family of 5. Parents Maria and Carlos, aged 48 and 51, and their 3 teenage children participated in a 6-month study on AI-facilitated family communication. The problem? Like many families, they loved each other but struggled with honest communication. The teenagers weren't discussing about pressures at school, sexuality, and mental health problems. The parents were not discussing marital stress or financial anxiety. In the first month, each family member started having a private conversation with the AI counselor, and they disclosed. The 16-year-old daughter disclosed that she was questioning her sexuality. The 14-year-old son disclosed that he was being bullied at school. The 18-year-old daughter disclosed her severe test anxiety and eating disorders. Maria disclosed that she was unhappy in her career and felt lost, while Carlos disclosed the financial stress from his gambling habits, all of which they kept hidden from one another. In the 3rd month, the AI counselor, with individual permission from each family member, suggested family therapy and offered to help them prepare for difficult conversations. Each family member practiced what they wanted to say with the AI first. In the final month 6, here's what the family therapy outcome looked like. Their daughter came out as a bisexual and her parents understood and supported her. The son's bullying situation was addressed by the school's intervention, and the daughter with the anxiety and eating disorder was given the treatment that she deserved. And finally, the couple addressed their financial and career distress. Their family satisfaction score went from 4.2 to 8.1 on 10 in just 6 months. When Maria was interviewed, she said something profound. AI did not really fix their problems, but it helped them be honest for the first time. They said their truth to something that felt safe at that time, and once they had the courage, they could be truthful with one another. Researchers also discovered that each conversation with AI makes the next one easier. If you have 10 conversations with AI focused on emotional honesty, you can literally rewire your brain. Your neural pathways get strengthened, and the association between vulnerability and threat gets weakened. Now let's talk about the future. Number 1, AI will become the first point of emotional contact. Earlier, people used to go to a human therapist. Now they'll reach out to a bot to understand their feelings. Number 2, AI is not here to replace the therapist, rather to prepare people for therapy. Call it an emotional warm-up. People practice their honesty with AI, and when they have the confidence and are ready, they go to a real human therapy. Third, data-driven self-awareness. AI can check out for patterns that humans can miss. The change in mood, the change in motivation, the thought spiraling, all of this creates a cycle. Honesty creates data. This data creates insight, and insight gives us more self-awareness. And this ultimately leads to a healthy behavior. Platforms like Chat Council already use this to help users see their emotional patterns week by week. Fourth, stigma reduction. Talking to a bot makes it feel a lot more normal, accessible, and private. This also reduces the stigma barrier, especially in countries like India, where the treatment gap is still 80%. So, the next time you find yourself opening up to a digital assistant, don't question it. Your brain has simply chosen a path with no judgment. And if this path brings you clarity and healing, then maybe the future of mental health isn't about machines replacing humans, rather, machines helping humans to open up. The science is clear, the case studies are compelling, the benefits are transformative. And this is exactly why you need to integrate AI in your emotional, everyday well-being. It's not either or, it's both. AI is not here to take away the human connections. Sarah, who flourished under the AI tutor, still needs her professor. The Roger family still needs their family therapist. AI was just the key that unlocked the door of accessing human help. Think of it as a bridge. Your neurology makes human honesty difficult. AI reduces that gap. You can practice your honesty in a safe space, and once you're ready, you can bring your truth to a human connection. The accessibility of AI is revolutionary. The 24/7 availability, the zero judgment, infinite patience, the perfect memory, and the immediate access. Here's a recommended approach based on research. Use AI for initial processing of complex trauma, everyday emotional check-ins, for stigma-based issues, practicing articulation before human conversations, and lastly, pattern recognition over time. Use humans for deeper therapeutic work once you find your own voice, medication management, crisis management, for accountability and long-term relationship building, and lastly, for human connection and empathy. The data shows when both of these approaches are used together, it brings out the best result in comparison to any one of them on standalone basis. There is a reason you watched this video today. Maybe you are one of those million people who have carried something in their heart all this while. Today, 168 million people suffer in silence, and you don't have to be one. Your truth matters, and let's make it possible for everyone to speak up. So, subscribe if this resonated with you. Share it with somebody who needs to hear this, and let me know in the comments what's that one thing that's easier to share with a screen than with a real human. The era of honesty is here. Let's use it.